Imagine a year and a half or however long it was in a role thinking, I do not want to do this anymore. Yet my husband is forcing me to stay in this.
Hey Deku Fam.
Welcome back to our channel.
Welcome back.
We're back with another video and we're here. We're doing a career and relationship series. You guys were asking on Instagram for us to do a series on relationships and careers. So here we are. This is part 2, is it?
Of a 4-part series.
Yes.
First one we spoke about pursuing a career, pursuing a relationship, and how you prioritize your career in the process. Now we're talking about you're in a relationship and how do you support each other.
Yeah.
But I feel like for us, you know, how we navigated through our career journey and gone from different levels, from entry level to where we are now, it's through the support structures that we have within the household. And that actually started before we actually got married.
I think that's really helped us in our marriage, in our relationship, like just a support system. I would not be able to get through and get to the levels that I've got to in my career if it wasn't for kids. Okay,
I know.
Is it gonna get out the door? Or but he knows, like, he's been my support system, and he would not have got far if it wasn't for me, my encouragement, my support, him practicing presentations with me. So we just want to talk about how important it is to support your partner when you're doing this whole career thing. So the first way that you can support your partner with their career is actually by taking an active interest in what they do. It sounds so basic, but I mean, so many couples take this for granted.
Yeah, because we work 8 to 10 hours. Well, personally, we work 8 to 10 hours a day, and our careers take up a big bulk of our time. And it's nice when I come home and I'm just sharing just general things that happen in the day, and Anna is there actively listening to me. She's not looking at her phone. She's not busy in the kitchen. She's not busy doing whatever. She's actually sitting next to me, and we're able to have a conversation. And by her doing that, actually shows me that she cares. Yeah,
I think asking questions is so important. Like when it comes to your careers, like I always ask him, like, how was your day today? What did you learn today? Like, did anything annoy you today? Like, what's the future look like for you in your career? Like, all of these questions are such important parts of our relationship, and I feel like sometimes couples like compartmentalize their career as though it's something on the side. They know that their partner goes out and then comes back and they work as a, I don't know, electrician or whatever, or a banker, and that's it. Like, you don't know the nitty gritty of what your partner does. Like, I know Gabriel's boss's name, his colleagues' names, like, he understands my colleagues' names, he knows what we're striving towards, he knows what the next 3 to 5 years ideally look like for each of us. So, I don't know, we're just intertwined in each other's career.
And because we're so invested in trying to understand each other and our careers, it actually makes us more embedded within our story, so to speak. Because Annabella's showing a genuine interest in me, and I feel more careful, and it feels like our paths are kind of aligning. We're not pursuing the same job, we're not doing the same thing, but just knowing that she cares actually, like, I don't know, makes me draw closer to her. Yeah,
and I think it helps with the overall vision of our household. It no longer starts feeling like that's his career and that's my career. It just feels like we're both building towards our future because we know so much about what's going on. And then that's when you can really add value into each other's situation, when you know it. You can't add value unless you know what's going on in their work.
And you get to ask important questions like, okay, this happened, how did that make you feel? Again, you're getting more understanding of your partner, knowing what makes them tick, how they work, what annoys them, so you don't have to annoy them at home.
And then he feels like he needs you in his life and he can't be going somewhere else to someone else because I'm here, I'm invested, and I actually add value to his career, and that's what we want, you know? Another way that we can support our partners during their career is by actually being their #1 fan, their cheerleader, their supporter, and celebrating their wins.
Yeah, Anna is very good at this. As you can see, she's very enthusiastic, very bubbly, and very loud. So as soon as anything happens, Anna always likes to just celebrate, whether that be a high five, a kiss, a little bit of action, or like a date night, just to be able to know that, you know, she sees what I'm doing, she's acknowledging what I'm doing, and she's right behind me and supporting me on the journey.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, obviously my personality is really out there, so it would be weird if I'm celebrating big things in my own life, or like with people outside, or with YouTube and stuff like that. But then when my own husband comes home and he's celebrating a win, that I'm not over the moon. Like, it's really important for me to show that, like, I am right behind him, and over any other wins that may happen, like him doing well in something that he believes in is something that I'm going to celebrate more than anything.
This is something I've had to learn because I'm the kind of person that sees something and I acknowledge it, but I don't always speak it out. And I realized that it's really nice for your partner to know that you see what they're doing and that you acknowledge it. And through reading, I've actually found out like how you celebrate your day-to-day and the big events, or even the small things in your relationship, actually draws you closer together, because like it's like you're supporting and you're on the same team and you're moving forward together. Because sometimes you can just think, oh, I'm there when my partner needs me, but sometimes it's actually how you manage the good times and how you celebrate those times. Because for me personally, when I didn't celebrate Anna, I felt like she was building some sense of resentment towards me. It was almost like, you know, I've done this and yet it's not good enough, or I've done this and yet we're not celebrating. It almost like puts a little barrier. So it's important to celebrate each other in the good times.
Yeah, 100%. I think we focus more on the good times than we do the bad times. The bad times happen probably less often than the good times, to be honest. So it's like we can't wait for a bad time to show that, the affection. Yeah, the affection. Like, oh, I'm here for you, I care for you. No, the good times as well, which could be daily. We choose to like focus on the right things and actually just celebrate the wins. And I think for us in our relationship, it's just drawn us so much closer, and we're just so behind one another when it comes to our careers. And I do things knowing that, oh hey, wait, Gabes is gonna be like, yes Anna, that's my girl, and I just show him that like, yeah, he's with the right girl, you know. Another way to support your partner during their career is by actually offering tangible support. Like before, the first 2 points we're talking about, like, you know, the words, the, you know, listening to each other, doing all that stuff. But now it's actual physical
that's
support.
Passive. Now I'm talking about active.
Yeah, active stuff right here. So I think we do that.
Yeah, we do. Like, for example, if I'm going to give any kind of presentation, I know the queen of presentations is Anna. Put her in a room, she just lights it up. So I'm like, why don't I just benefit from my wife's anointing? So I'll come home and I'll say, babe, I've got a presentation. I'll present to her a couple of times, and I'll humble myself to listen to her feedback so that I can go to work and actually kill my presentation.
And Gabes, like, he's so good on the strategy front, on the leadership and direction, and I can sometimes be quite scattered. Like, I go where the noise is, you know what I mean? But obviously in the work sense, that is not great. So Gabes will literally look at my agenda and my to-do list, and he'll be like, actually, you need to focus here. This is what you need to be thinking about. This is what they're going to ask you in the next 3 to 6 months, that kind of thing. And that's his strength.
And also, even sometimes, I feel like you shouldn't go to work and be just throwing out random ideas. You have the household, a safe environment to be able to flesh them out, to be able to see, to basically get rid of the dumb ideas, I'm trying to say. So for example, if I've got an idea at work that I want to put forward, I'll touch base with Anna and just say, look, what do you think about that? Because we talk about our career so much, it's almost like Anna understands what I do day in and day out. She knows the nature of my work. So I'm like, babe, what do you think about that? She says, no, Gab, it's not a good idea. That's not a good idea, blah, blah, blah. And then when I go to work, because that idea has been sounded out several times through conversation, I'm able to come up with a good idea before my manager, not just some dumb idea that I thought about on the toilet.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, like, we're so critical of each other. Like, we are our own worst critic. So because at the end of the day, it's only going to be worse when you get outside of the household. So this is a safe environment to know that, look, I have good intentions. I want you to achieve the best, but let's just flesh out the ideas, say all the rubbish ones in front of me, and then we'll get to something great.
Yeah, because when you're at home and you're able to have the opportunity to share with your partner, it's like they're able to ask you questions, and then the point is more thought out. So that when you go into work, then your manager asks you various questions. Because you've gone through that thinking process with your partner, you're able to answer the questions.
Yeah, and I think people might say, oh, but you guys have the benefit of both being corporate. But we're in very different corporate roles, different types of organizations. And I think it's just because we've gone on the journey with each other and actually been intentional. And another way to support your partner in their career is by holding them accountable to the things that they will say that they will do. Because in the first video we spoke about being a dreamer, and then there's no action to go with it. So in your relationship, like, there needs to be action to go with the dreams and the things that they say about their career.
And this is a very good point. And we've addressed this in 2017. Anna and I were in where were we? Zanzibar. We were in Zanzibar and we recorded a video called The Hardest Year of Our Marriage. Why was it a hard year? Because Anna was going through a very difficult time at work and she wanted to quit. She wanted to quit the corporate ladder. She wanted to leave her job. She didn't want to pursue this career any longer. I said, no. We're pushing through.
It was so annoying. Like, imagine a year and a half or however long it was in a role thinking, I do not want to do this anymore. Yet my husband is forcing me to stay in this.
Anna's like, Gab, I'm going. Tomorrow I'm handing in my notice, and there's nothing you can do about it. I'm going to. And I'm like, no, you're not handing your notice. Just because you're going through a difficult time does not mean that it's time to quit. The thing is, I have heard Anna's heart. When we're having a normal conversation, without the frustration, without the, the anger, I've heard her heart. I've heard where she wants to get to. Now, just because you're having a difficult moment does not mean that we have to forget the plan just to, derail everything because you're having a difficult time.
And I think, honestly, I'm happy now. I'm so grateful that I didn't quit and he didn't allow me to quit, because I would have quit my own self. But I look back to when we first got together, or before we did. One of the reasons that I loved Gabes was because he was a man of his word, and he was someone that had serious goals, and I knew that he could help me achieve my goals. And that was part of the reason I got with him, because I knew my life would level up. But obviously, when you're in the midst of a situation and he's still that same person that is saying, no, you're going to push through in this and you're not going to quit, and it's frustrating, it's really hard. But at the end of the day, we look back now, and I'm grateful for that, because I'm a stronger woman as a result of it.
Less tears.
Yeah, there's less tears.
Able to handle more adversity.
I can.
Able to knuckle down and actually work hard, even that means working, late a couple times a week. It's okay. It's just part and parcel of this. And we keep striving, we keep pushing forward in order to secure the back.
Basically, he's kept me to my word. He's not deterred from the plan, even in the midst of me being upset or sad, or or whatever I'm going through in a given moment. So I think that's a great
because there's sometimes in your journey, in your relationship, where you've actually got to want your partner's career more than they do. And you've got to keep pushing them forward, reminding them. So it wasn't, and I don't want to sound like I was just forcing Anna. There was a lot of talking on my part. There was a lot of encouragement, day in, day out. Literally, okay, coming back from work, what was wrong today? Fleshing it out with her, go again. And I did this for what? 2 years. And then she got a new job, and then now she's a lot happier.
And the same with Gabes, he has a tendency of he's in a comfortable role, so he'll just stay and just sit there. And he'll be like,
if
what?
I'm doing my job well, everyone's happy, everyone's smiling.
Well, it's fine, I'm comfortable. Maybe you're a bit scared of a new challenge, but he still has these dreams and desires. So I remember all of that from when we started. So when he's sitting in a role for longer than 2 years, no promotion, no pay rise, no nothing, and I'm just like, babe, nah. Remember the goals that we set out. Remember that. And now he's about to start a new job in the next week. And I think I played a huge part in that, because I reminded him of the goals that he had. And I reminded him of where he wants to go and what he wants to achieve. So, we hold each other accountable and remind each other of what we set out when we first started this walk, and made sure that the other person does it.
Fantastic.
And the last way to support your partner with their career is actually to set healthy boundaries. It's not work all day, every day. And it maybe sounds like that is the case for us, but it's really not.
Because you've got to have a full, whole life. For example, looking at your relationship with your family, your friends, the relationship we have between each other. So we set some real boundaries. One of them is very simple. We have 25 days annual leave a year, plus 6 days bank holiday. We make use of that time
100%.
off. So we make sure that we actually take all our annual leave, and we take that as an opportunity to rest.
100%. And even we do the Sabbath on a Saturday, so Friday night to Saturday night, where we basically detox. No looking at emails, no working, maybe not even talking about work as much, and we actually just rest. And we try to put our phones away. It's difficult to do that all the time. We're still learning our habits. But at the end of the day, we have a 24-hour period where it's literally just rest. And
our date nights, for example, on a Wednesday or just midweek, where we just go out, we connect with one another, we have fun, we try and keep the relationship a bit spicy, keep it going, Also make it an effort to actually connect with our family and our friends, because we don't want our careers to be flourishing and our relationship suffering. So we just make sure that we're trying to have a well-rounded life.
Exactly, because work is not everything, and sometimes in certain seasons, especially living in London and working in the city, it can easily consume you. Easily. So again, we hold each other accountable in that, and we say that, look, work is not our everything, despite it being a huge part of our lives. It's not our everything. So we choose to have balance, we choose to rest, we choose to put our phones away, not look at emails, during certain times, and I think that's really helped us in our marriage, hasn't it?
And it's helped out in our careers as well, because we're looking at sustainability, and we're looking, because at the end of the day, we're going to be doing this for the long haul. So we want to make sure that we have opportunities to rest, we have opportunities to reconnect, because we don't want to get to the end of our career and now be complaining about our career and hate our jobs and hate this path that we're going on because our relationship's suffering. People can sometimes blame their jobs when they literally haven't set the boundaries. So for the sake of our career, we're setting boundaries so we don't hate our career.
100%. So Deku Fam, that's it on the video. We hope you understand more how you can support your partner through their career. Like, a relationship is not a joke. It's actually taking an active role in the things that concern your partner, and part of that is their career. And I think relationships can be so strengthened by you being proactive with your partner, knowing about their career, taking an active role in certain elements of their career.
And next week we're really going to be talking about oneness, and I feel like in this process, in the journey of understanding each other's career, you're actually drawing yourself closer to oneness. And oneness is very important, because at the end of the day, you don't want anything to separate you when you're in a relationship. So don't let your career separate you. Take time to actually support one another, know that you're on the same team, and then work towards something. You don't both have to have the same job, like we keep reminding everyone, but we have to make sure that we're on the same journey together.
Yes, 100%.